What's going on? Welcome to K.A.E Sports Talk. And today, if you guys can give me the HKO special, hit the like, subscribe, and comment. So now we're going to talk about Group H. And now we're going to go to this is where Indonesia is going to host these two groups. And Japan, Okinawa is hosting E and F. And of course, in Manila, we have A through D being hosted. Yep, so I'm getting close to packing my bags and gonna head on out there. All right, so we're gonna talk about Group G. So we have Iran, Spain, Cote d'Ivoire, and Brazil. So let's start off with Cote d'Ivoire. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct, but sorry if I butcher that name. So here is the veteran leader Diabate. The goal is to reach the second round. So Soyman Diabate will be the undisputed veteran leader for Cote d'Ivoire at the FIBA Basketball World Cup, and the guard is ready to use his experience to help his country reach the second round. Cote d'Ivoire is playing in the World Cup for the third time in the last four editions, with Diabate playing in the global stage for the third time after 10 and 19. The playmaker was 23 years old when he played in Turkey. He got injured in his first game, but continued playing and ended up averaging 9.4, 4.4 rebounds, and 4.4 assists. Yep. So he said, I was a young player at the time, wanted to shine, wanted to show everybody that I can play at the international against big teams and big players. And Dibate helped the Elephants reach the first World Cups back-to-back appearances in 82 and 86. So the lessons he learned Turkey helped him see things differently in the long term. So he realized he had a lot of work to do at the time, but I learned about international balance demands a lot of work, he said. So there he is. So Dibate has answered a call. In addition to playing the two World Cups, he competed at FIBA Afrobaskets, appeared in 21 and 24 in the African qualifiers for the 19 and 23 World Cups. So every time you go to Nashville, it's a lot of fun. I meet guys I don't see during the season. It's a great atmosphere. I like playing for my national team, Debate say. And the motivation to play for this country is high, adding just to represent among the 10, 12 best players of Cote d'Ivoire is great for me. I represent the country, my family name, and for me, I'm proud where I'm from. It's unbelievable to be at this level. So Dibate has not, however, experienced much winning at the World Cup, grabbing solely a victory over Puerto Rico in 10, 1 and 4, before going 0 and 5 in China. So the Africans are not heading to Asia this summer just to make numbers, as they will face Spain, Iran, and Brazil in Group G in Jakarta. So it goes to advance to the second round. So the Elephants will be buoyed by excellent showing at the African qualifiers, where they won 10 to 12, and the atmosphere with this team was great, and we have a good balance between young players and veterans, and the goal was the same for everybody. So team first, nobody's above the team, and we also have a good coaching set. So now it's time for Cote d'Ivoire to show on the world stage. Soliman Dibate experience will definitely be a major help. So that is Cote d'Ivoire. So there we go. They're the 54th ranked team. So now we're going to talk about Iran. Yes, Iran. So there we go. If I can get that up. And let me get the article here. So Iran. Yep. So let's see. So let's look at Iran. Yes. So I think this was an article on the 14th. So last call for the great Haddadi. So yes. Qualifying for the FIBA World Cup. Yep. And it's Iran's fourth overall appearance and fourth competition in the feat in itself. So it might be the final time with this country's all great center, Hamed Hadidadi. So, yeah, and I've seen him play, so he's not that bad. And of course, they got some big games, and of course that 15 preliminary squad, Haddadi, Kazemi, and Yachali, and Iran has a yes national team star, Mohammed Amini, a training camp. So player has yet to make his senior debut, but once Haddadi Dadi moves on from playing, Amini could end up being the face of Iran basketball. So with core players Hadidi and Kazemi at 38, 30 respectively, can Iran's younger generation, including Amini, uh, Matan, Agajanpour, 11 senior team games, and Midi, 5 senior national games, use the World Cup as a launchpad for their careers to help Iran remain one of the Asian powerhouses. So that is the hope. The hope is they got a great feel for the prospect, but when facing Brazil in opening game G, so they want their trio to come out turning on all cylinders, especially the big man. Too much to handle down low, and that could help lift an upset in the first game, but this could be followed with another one against Cote d'Ivoire for a 2-0 stop. So that likely means Team Melly will advance from the group phase, a historic feat for the country. So yep, so they have a lot to carry. So Iran's heavy on the stars, they carry the low, team zero on them, and focus less exerts a step up. So that'll put Harari in danger of not receiving the World Cup send up he deserves. With not danger of bowing out of contention the first round. The big man is coming off in injury recovery, so Iran needs teammates to offset as much pressure on their stars as much as they can. So Iran, who nearly beat eventual champion Spain at the last quarter, aren't able to pull up the upset in the first round against them. So Brazil. So that could be destiny, but would leave fans wondering if the team could take that ever next step. So they finished fifth in the Asian poll. So yep, so more to look, and we'll see what Iran can do because they're gonna be faced with Brazil and Spain in the pool. So now let's go and look at Brazil. Of course, yep, so Brazil, I'm just gonna have to get an article on Team Brazil. Yep, so let's look up. So this is their latest article on the 17th. So yep, so Team Brazil, yep. So Brazil relies on the backcourt depth for chase for quarterfinals, and they beat Australia in the warm-ups. So Brazil entered the FIBA World Cup spirit by depth and leadership. So Neto, Caboclo, Huerta, Santos, and Lazura are all prominent figures in the Brazilian squad, which has now been cut to 14 players, but that could change. So Neto, Marcelo, Santos could be among the most impressive guards of the World Cup. Being able to shuttle players in and out at the floor general spot ought to be an advantage. So Neto and Marcelino and the best known guards, Iago stars rising appearance in the World Cup because of the heroic America's qualifiers campaign. So in the last game, USA and Brazil needed to win the qualify. So he had 17s after doing 4 or 5 shots from the arc, 8 assists. He played in 10 America games, averaged 9.8 while shooting almost 40% from long range, and he led the team in assists with 5.1. In Germany with them, he teamed up with Caboclo and led the team to the domestic title. So there he is. And the squads, and also the squad is George De Paula and Lucas Diaz, teammates Ceci Franca. The Brazilian Cup has won the Basketball League's Americas. So yeah, they do look good. The question is, can Brazil's big produce enough on offense and anchor the defense so this squad has a chance to compete in the first round and potentially France and Canada in the second? So can Gustavo Conte find success in a major tournament as head coach? So Brazil has beaten South Sudan and Australia, yes, the Boomers, and Venezuela in the build-up. In the 85-75 win over Sudan, Tim Source really plays well at center, spacing the front office. He had points at all 3 shots and 3 points line. Forward Leonard Mendy was active on the board, finishing with 7 rebounds. So in the 1986 win over Australia, Brazil got 20.12 from Caboclo and 17 from Benete. So one of the country's most valuable, Iago has 8 assists, and gold is 9 points. So there you go. So 83-7 victory over Venezuela will give you at 10 points, 9 rebounds, and Caboclo had 15 and 8 boards, and Mendy had 13 and 5 rebounds. So they're also taking on Italy and Serbia in their preparation. Can victories in the preparation route to confidence of the team hit the ground running the World Cup, which they must do to succeed. So the hope is the optimistic scenario. Brazil will rely heavily on the three-headed backcourt that comes through in a big way, and not only to advance from Group G, but also from the second round. Yes, so that's the another issue into the quarterfinals. So thanks to the depth of the backcourt, where the starting point guard leaves, it up to the next man mentality, and there will be no drop off in production. So the South Americans, different generation of players, some more experienced than others, are merging as part of future of the national team. Blend together nicely and come together, see as a unit, as their fruits of their labor for Brazil's best World Cup since 14 when they were six. The facts is the recent win against Sudan, Brazil shot well from deep, 12 from 29, and the guards did a good job distributing the ball. 9 assists for Huertas, 4 for DePaula against Australia. Brazil was 16 for 35 from deep. So there you go, George DePaula. And of course, Brazil don't get back out of quarterfinals. That's the fear. And finishing the top two, that could be the fear to go past France and Canada. And Caballo may not have a superconsistent required, and Neto, as good as talent as he suffers in the chemistry as he hasn't played for the country since the 16 Olympics. So, yep, and you can see in the past, and they finished 13th at the last FIBA World Cup. So, more on the deeper look, yep, you can look there. But yeah, so Brazil should be there, but we will see. Now let's go to number one. Let me get this number one team, Spain. Yes, this is the number one team, even if America's number two. But Spain. I was just actually watching the documentary last night of Spain. So yeah, they are looking to defend the World Cup title. Yes, they are champions. So they are finally winning champions. Yep, they're ready to defend it. Number one in the world. So they prevailed. So, yep, we still don't know the roster because Spain has plenty of talent in the 16-man preliminary squad that includes the Hernan Gomez brothers, Willie and Juanto, and fellow big man Aldama, the Memphis Grizzlies, and Garuba of Oklahoma City Thunder. They also have a couple of benches who's been there and done that and accomplished so much in their careers, Rudy Fernandez and Sergio Luo. So, yeah. So the World Cup. So of course they don't have Ricky Rubio was set to play, but his career's on hold just as he stepped away from the game for mental reasons. So talented young guard Juan Nunez then added to Spain's roster. So Nunez made the Spaniard team debut in the European qualifiers, playing in 5 games, and this could be a chance for him to even get more experience. He played well against USA in the World Cup warm-up game in Malaga on the 13th. So the question is the absence of Rubio and last year's starting point guard and Eurobasket star, five-star selection Lorenzo Brown means Spain are out two of their most important players from the last couple of winning titles. So Spain is to become the fourth nation to win 2 straight titles, joining Brazil in 59 series, Yugoslavia in 8 and 2, U.S. 10 and 14, and they'll need a strong star play from the floor general or various players that will use the role by committee. So it's not wise to bet against achieving a top three finish, but they have a podium eight of the last 10 events. So they're banking on history repeats itself, hoping to reach the top three once again and maybe add another title. So defeating Venezuela by 30, Slovenia by 20, and two preparation was an encouraging sign for the number one team in world rankings. After 3 quarters against U.S., Spain was down 7-3 to Malaga. While U.S. ended up winning 98, there was much talk about Spain's performance. Nunez had 8 points, 5 assists, and Albert Diaz 6.3 assists. So Spain had 29 assists, evidence that passing game was in tune. So that's where they are. And the hope is part of Saints Friends, they have the experience of winning no matter what the competition, it's in their DNA. They'll have targets on their back, yet being a cohesive unit playing with confidence, norm, of past success, Spain can achieve their aims. So it helps that one of the greatest coaches in FIBA history, Sergio Scarlito, Spain's success last year's Eurobasket is much to do, and I've watched that game. It was his fourth Eurobasket down as coach. He also led Spain to the 19 World title. the Olympics silver medal and the Olympic bronze. So they haven't been. I don't think they've been able to win gold yet in the Olympics. But Spain reached the quarterfinals World Cup, beat us 7 times since '98. They should lift the Naismith Trophy. It should be the third time in history and third since '06. So if Spain slip on the first one, lose again to Iran or Cote, or it could be needing them to win all their second round games, which would be a tall order since the opponents come from Group H, which consists of group of death: France, Canada, Latvia, and Lebanon. So there you go. That's another group of death in there. But yeah, it could be done. So yep. So Eurobaskets they ended up winning, and of course World Cup they ended up winning. So yep. So they've won, but I don't think they won the Olympic gold yet. So for deeper, we can look right there. So yeah. So here is my prediction for this pool right here. So let's see. Fourth place, unfortunately, it's going to be Cote d'Ivoire. Third place will be Iran. Second will be Brazil and Spain. Even if they have maybe a couple flaws, they're still going to finish in the top of the group. So Spain, and then the concern will be in Group H. So that's where I stand on this. So we'll see how this goes. So yep. So I'm kind of excited. Yep. So we'll get to see. I'll get to see them in person. So yes. All right. So anybody enjoyed any of this content? Please hit the like, subscribe, and comment. What do you think? Who's going to win? Who's going to go? What's going to happen? So we'll see. All right, everyone. See you in my next video.